What's going on, Solid Steppers? It's Miss Ward coming to you from sunny South Florida, a little overcast. Headed to take care of a customer with a dishwasher this morning. Now, anybody that knows me knows I hate dishwashers. But, you know, I had to re-examine that because I had to understand why I hated them. And I realized the reason I hated them is that I have not invested the time to understand the product. There's a reason why people flip dryers and dishwashers. So what I'm telling you is master what you feel comfortable with and then move into other areas you are uncomfortable. The reason I say that it's important to be well-rounded. And one thing I know, if I know nothing else, the way you do one thing is how you do everything. Like, for instance, right now I'm listening to a video. I have done this time and time again, but while I'm driving, I'm watching the video, looking at the disassembly, and making sure that my brain is comfortable so that when I walk in, y'all hear it in the background. When I walk in,
remove the 4 mounting screws, securing the
I am going to be more comfortable with the repair because it's something that I haven't been focusing on. Because I service corporate clients that have dishwashers in their corporate offices for their staff, in their corporate kitchens, things like that, I have to know how to do it if I'm going to be they're going to be able to get everything done by me. Now, a lot of my stuff I sublet out that I feel someone else can do better than I can, have a better skill set, because I'm about taking care of the customer. I'm going to make my profit because of the way I move. But at the end of the day, you got to be about your business. You know, everybody out here doing appliance repair is not running a business. They're not taking the lumps. They're not taking the failures, you know, and they're not learning it from the ground up. I choose to be hands-on simply because it's imperative that I not only understand the product, that I know how to explain the repair to the customer in a manner, you know, to take it from technical terms to layman terms and make it attractive enough for the customer to be willing to invest with us and trust the work that we do. That comes from hands-on. People can be coached all day long, but at the end of the day, if you don't know what you're talking about, you don't know what you're talking about. And the reality is there's Google out here. There are other options. People can go to YouTube, and you know, YouTube is an overview. They can Google it. There are people who really are mechanically inclined or want to understand. They don't have a problem with paying anybody, but they don't need to be BSing them. And people BS usually when they don't know or when they have the gift of gab. But the reality is that will put you in a situation you don't want to be in. So if you know, like I know, learn the craft. Focus on where your challenges are. Every time I go out and I deal with a situation where I learn something new, I go back and I rehash because now my whole goal is to be able to get in and diagnose quickly and smoothly. Like, for instance, this particular situation, you know, the customer has reset the GE dishwasher several times in the past, has been able to play the game and reset it. Well, now it's not working. Now, anybody that works on these GE dishwashers understand that when you replace the UI, that they have a personality, what's called a personality plug. And basically what that is they GE, and they good for this, they use this particular UI, and you have to remove certain portions of a particular plug so that it will work with this model. Now, I did my homework. I reviewed everything. I looked at the parts. I looked at the personality. That way, when I put it back together, I'm not sitting here scratching my head. You know, the problem is so many people don't take the time to read. I also looked through the process to properly diagnose. Now, most people I know, they go in and they actually change both boards. In my experience, most of the boards I've had to replace have actually been the UI when I'm dealing with the corporate situation. Now, when I go into a customer's home, it's a little different because I'm one of the people, I do not like recalls, and because I know eventually that board is going to fail, I'm going to explain to the customer, this is what's failing right now. This is related to this, so I recommend you do both at the same time. That way the customer understands, you get both. So that way, if you get a call back in your brain, you're not thinking, damn, I should have replaced that other board. You know, when you're dealing with appliance repair and when you're down in a place like Florida where we have unbelievable tropical storms, hurricanes, thunderstorms, and lightning, these things become compromised. And if you are versed and articulate enough, you can explain to your customer, look, I'm recommending this for this reason. But how do you know this if you don't study? And the beautiful thing about it is, it makes no sense when, you know, I invest in appliantology, you know, so that I can pull the service manuals and do the studying. But the reality is, I have friends who are GE certified, and they communicate with me and, you know, share documentation with me. So at the end of the day, it's your relationships and your network. Whenever I get in a glitch, I have people I can call. I just try not to burn that bridge, because the reality is, how many times people going to coach you through a schematic? Like, for instance, when you're dealing with an oven or something like that, the reality is you're having a problem because you haven't read the dang schematic and you don't understand it. And so I had to deal with that myself because I'm cool as hell and everybody loved Miss Ward. You know, everybody on Team Ward, they always looking to help me out. But that ain't helping me if I'm in a situation. You know, I'm blessed enough that people who respect me enough to give me the game, but at the same time, I can't be dependent just because of who I am. And a lot of people will play that game. My whole goal is to get better every day in everything that I attempt. So this morning I spent hours. I had all my toolboxes out, all my tools, because I'm constantly trying to lighten my bag, put exactly what I need when I go into establishment. So I have small tool bags. So, like, for instance, I'm only gonna need maybe 4 or 5 tools when I go into this home because I know what I'm doing. I'm not gonna be lugging this big ass bag in here. Now the reality is, I can do like everybody else, get the rolling bag, boom, boom, roll it in and be done. The problem with that is, when you roll a bag into a customer's house, you gotta make sure you got the right type of wheels. You don't wanna mess up the floor. Like, you know, my whole goal is to go in here, I got my blankets ready. I wanna take care of this client in record style. And he's one of my repeat customers, which is one reason why I'm taking care of him on Sunday. He sent me a lot of business out in Wellington in his subdivision, and he's an older guy that's really no nonsense. And of course he told me, look, you know, if Monday's better, do that, take a day off. The reality is my schedule's so booked that I gotta work today because I'm trying to do multiple things. And if I'm gonna manage my time accordingly, if I got a couple of jobs I can knock out today, that's gonna free me up for next week when I'm dealing with, you know, my other businesses where I have to deal with offices that are open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So you have to get your time management in order. Everything you do, you gotta move a certain way. And that's what people don't seem to understand. The reason you are struggling is because things are not in order. And the only way they're going to be in order is to hold yourself accountable. You can't blame nobody. You know, I remember when I got in the game, I was trying to team up with people, do things. And then I had to realize that everybody don't move like me. Like, people freak out because they're getting emails from me at 12, 1, 2, 3 in the morning. But what they don't understand, the way my schedule works, is I got to get it in when I can. Doesn't mean I'm up 24/7. It may seem that way. You know, I'm very big about my rest. I'm very big about my workout because I realize if I don't have health, if I don't take care of myself, if I don't lose some of this chunk, you feel me? I'm not going to be here to enjoy everything I'm working for, nor to coach and train and teach or spread the wealth, you know, to those people who are deserving. So you got to realize, you know, a lot of us out here doing this because it's bigger than us. And we had an awakening at a certain point in our life where we wanted to move a little different than our predecessors, you know, and our ancestors. So at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do. And that's why I'm telling you, You know, I talked to one of my mentees the other day, and he didn't have service matters. He didn't have this. He didn't have that. Well, you know, at the end of the day, you know, people in the beginning, this is what killed me about these people getting an appliance repair. And I'm going to just say it. They kill me because they don't want to spend any money. They don't want to pay for the memberships. You need the memberships because you are not working for a company that is going to sit there and train you. You got to create your own training schedule and discipline. Period. Like me, let me tell you something. At the house, I'll be looking at my appliances. I'm like, damn, I need to learn how to put this GE profile in diagnostic mode. I need, you know, anything in your house. If you walk into somebody else's house, you better know how to work on it because you've had 24/7 to figure it out. And because most appliances are all built on the same concepts. You know, whether it's a dishwasher, whether it's but you know, let me just tell y'all something. I don't have a dishwasher in my house because that ain't necessary. But the reality is, I gotta go. It's one of the simplest machines out here. You know, like I gotta call for a Miele dryer, not drying properly. You know, people be running from stuff, man. Stop running. And if you don't feel comfortable, check that off and say, okay, I'm not comfortable with it right now, but I damn sure need to get comfortable because there's a demand for it. Because you got to realize if you ain't comfortable, some damn body else ain't. So that just is creating our favorite word, which is opportunity. You know, you can't, you know, I can't stress this enough. You can only play a game so long. You eventually have to understand your worth and you have to bring something to the table other than BS, other than, you know, gift of gab. You got to bring some kind of skill set. You have to understand the process. I've had to go back and open that Eric Clenert book, you know, Repairing a Home Appliance is one of the best books out here in the game. Very detailed, walks you through everything from electrical schematics on into different systems, even certain manufacturers, how they move. You know, the game is get out here and learn it. You know, time's gonna pass anyway. So what are you doing with that time? Are you invested in enhancing yourself and your life? Are you working on your management? Are you holding yourself accountable? Do you have an accountability partner? And the reality is, get you a chalkboard, put it up in your room, get your bullet points going, and get your life together. Because the reality is, it's so many people that's going to be sitting in the same damn place next year this time. Don't be one of them. That's all I got, y'all. Be blessed. I'm going to get my head together. Got to knock out this job and get this paper. You know how I move. Be blessed, y'all, and keep stepping.